Hello, my name is Matthew Pfeiffer with MattPfeifferCoaching.com. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Toxic to Triumph. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about hoovering. What is it? And why is it done? When the narcissist or the toxic person is trying to get me back, how do I know that this time will not be different? I explain all this and more in this episode. I'm looking forward to having this conversation. Talk to you soon. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. The topic of hoovering has come up quite a bit, not only in my one-on-one sessions, but also in my group sessions as well. In this episode, I want to make clear what hoovering is and what it is not. In other episodes, I've talked about the three phases of narcissistic abuse: idealization phase, devaluation phase, and the discard phase. Each one of these phases has a few subcategories. Hoovering happens to be a subcategory of the discard phase. It doesn't matter if you're the one that discarded the narcissist or the narcissist is the one that discarded you. Hoovering happens to be a part of the process. The term hoover actually comes from the vacuum cleaner, Hoover. The reason why it's called hoovering is because of the narcissist's attempt to try to suck you back into the relationship. Now I want to pause there for a second, because anyone who's been through a breakup knows that people oftentimes will break up and then miss each other and have regrets of splitting and want to get back together. Now I would like to explain the difference. Quite often in a good and a healthy relationship, two people will have a blowout, will have an argument, or will just have a disagreement and will end up splitting, will end up breaking up. They may say things, they may even do things that both will regret. However, both typically will agree that even though the relationship will have its ups and downs, that overall the relationship was good and healthy and non-abusive and non-toxic. And both will also agree that this was a one-time isolated incident and will choose to work things out. Hoovering is a little bit different. Hoovering is a bit different. It happens after discard and after an abusive pattern has been established. Hoovering has less to do with being solutions-based and trying to work things out and trying to be cordial, and more to do with narcissistic supply. In essence, the narcissist is either A, not ready to move on because they don't have anything else lined up, or B, the person that they were ready to move on with, it didn't work out with them. Or C, this is a triangulation attempt. No matter which way you slice this, this is more about narcissistic supply than it is about trying to work things out and trying to make things right. There are no limits to what the narcissist will do to try to get you back. Keep in mind that they do not respect boundaries. They will call you all hours of the day, all hours of the night. They will show up at your job. They will bring flowers. They'll bring candy. They will cook for you. They'll make promises that they have no intentions on keeping. Quite often, they will either do or say they will do all the things that you are asking for them to do in the first place. That could include counseling. That can include trips. That can include date nights. Showing love and affection. If this is a workplace situation, this could be the promotion that you were looking for. They can even get desperate enough to the point where they will threaten suicide or self-harm. I think it's important to note that if that is the case, it's not your responsibility to play superhero and go check on them, and it's also not your responsibility to stay with them. Doing so would only enable the behavior and possibly further escalate the behavior in the future. What you should do, however, is to take the behavior and the threat serious and call 911 to do a well check on them. That is all you can do, and that's all you should do. This not only keeps you safe, but also keeps them safe as well. You have to understand that narcissists are emotional manipulators, and they will say exactly what you want to hear to be able to get you back. They will call your friends, they will call your family members, they will even have them relay messages to try to get you back. They may even convince your friends and your family members that you should give them a second chance. It's important that you stand in your truth and you realize what you've been through. I always encourage people to write down what you've been through and the reason why you left or the reason why the relationship did not work in the first place. It's important that during the hoovering phase that you stay no contact. I would resist any temptation to read emails or text messages from them for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're going to pull at your heartstrings. Keep in mind, like I said earlier in this episode, they are emotional manipulators and they know exactly which buttons to press to get you back. Everything that you wanted them to be, they will make promises to become that to get you back. And I get the question all the time, when they're making these promises, how do we know that this isn't that one time, that one glimmer of hope that they are actually going to make a change, that they're actually going to go to counseling, that they're actually going to turn that corner? And that's a great question. But with every narcissist, there's a dark triad. And as clinicians, I don't think that we do a good enough job of explaining what the dark triad is. Every narcissist is comprised of 3 items: Machiavellian, psychopathy, and narcissism, obviously. Right now, I want to highlight the Machiavellian portion of this triad. So what does Machiavellian mean? What is it? It's the ability to spin any and every situation into your favor. And I'm sure that anyone who has had any type of experience with a narcissist just said to themselves, "Oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking about." So let's pretend for 1 second that everything that the narcissist is saying about the changes that they're going to make are 100% true and 100% accurate, and that they have every single intention on becoming exactly what you're looking for. If you have experienced these Machiavellian moments with the person that you're with throughout the relationship, even if they are being truthful and accurate and have every intent on becoming what you are asking, eventually they are only going to spin this into their favor anyway. Which brings me back to my original point. This Hoover attempt has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with trying to get this relationship right, and this is not solutions-based. Hoovering is all about them. This is about their narcissistic supply. This is about them fulfilling their needs. So even this Hoover attempt is another Machiavellian situation. So I hope this episode has brought some clarity to what Hoovering is and why it's done. I'm sure this will not be the last time that we talk about Hoovering on this podcast, but it is important for us to know that the Hoover attempt has nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with being solutions-based, but it has everything to do with the narcissist trying to fulfill their own needs. So thank you for listening to this episode of Toxic to Triumph. I'm Matthew Pfeiffer with mattpfeiffercoaching.com. If you have a question that you'd like for me to answer on a future podcast, go to mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Go to contact, send me 3 paragraphs max. Be very, very direct and very specific about your question. I'd be happy to answer any question that you might have. Just give me a little bit of time to get to it because I do have to get to my paid coaching sessions first. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, you can also go to mattpfeiffercoaching.com, go to the products tab, select whichever product you feel works best for your situation, and I will talk to you soon.
keep your head to the sky. Spread your wings wide, show the world you can fly, baby. Show the world you can fly. Show the world you can fly, babe. Dream big, keep your head to the sky. Spread your wings wide, show the world you can fly, baby. Show the world you can fly, yeah. Show the world you can fly. Dream big, keep your head to the sky. Spread your wings wide, show the world you can fly, baby. Show the world you can fly. Show the world you can